Hello and welcome to In the Pocket. My name's Jonny.
And my name's Chris.
Two totally average bass players, and we're here to talk all about that bass, as well as answering your questions at home, taking a look at the latest news, and maybe breaking down some tones. We're here to give you the lowdown on the low end. You might have noticed, if you're watching on camera right now, we're not in our normal location away from each other.
This doesn't look anything like my spare bedroom. Wow.
I'd be impressed if this was your spare bedroom.
Can you imagine? I have a secret to admit to you. I've always lived here the entire time.
Wow. I would be coming around all the time if that was the case.
Yeah, you would.
Because we are here at the Fender Artist Showroom in London today for a very special episode. With Fender. We've very kindly said we can come down here and record an episode for your viewing pleasure. I'll say up top, get the admin done.
Go on.
Out the way.
I'm ready.
If you are listening on your listening platform of choice, you should definitely, for this episode especially, go and subscribe to us on YouTube so you can see this for yourself in that camera, in that camera, in that camera. There's not one up there.
Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2.
I'm not cutting between those.
No?
That's extra. That's so much extra work.
Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. It's Wayne's World.
Sure.
Thank you.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
If you're in a good mood. I'll edit that bit.
We are here today to answer your Fender-related questions and check out some of the gear that we've got here today. So we'll be giving a kind of mini overview and review of some basses that we try out here today, as well as, comparing a few bits over on social media as well. So make sure you go and follow us on In The Pocket Pod on Instagram as well. Should we jump in to our first question?
I think we should jump right in.
We should do it. I've got them on my phone here because technology allows me to do that.
Very nice.
Question number one that was commented on our post on Instagram says, when will the Fender Artist Showroom open to the public like the Gibson Garage?
Well.
Now.
For
For those that don't know, do you want to explain the Gibson Garage a little bit, what that is?
The Gibson Garage is like I don't know if it's a retail store. I think you can buy things in it. You can certainly buy like Gibson merch because we've said so many nice things about Gibson lately. The Gibson Garage is kind of like a showroom. I believe it's a store. It's kind of a place where the Gibson have held it's like Gibson's kind of like flagship. I'm going to call it a store. It's their flagship store, but it's a public entity. It's a public place where you could go. It's in Camden, I believe. Is that right? Did we look? London means so. very, very little to Johnny, and even less to me. Yes. So it's kind of like a flagship store people can go to. I believe you can buy things there. It's quite new. It's only a few weeks old, I think, actually.
Yeah, from the grand opening.
Yeah, from the grand opening. Now, what it isn't is what this is. This is a slightly different. I kind of view this as it's kind of like just Fender's head office, isn't it?
Basically, any artists that you see that are picking stuff up from Fender, or if maybe they're touring and they're in the UK, from America or something like that, and they need to borrow some equipment, this is the place that they'd come. It's also the place they'd come to check out if they want to be, if they're going to be endorsed by Fender or something, and they're like, well, we want a P bass for this, or we need this for this tour. They come here, try out the gear. As you can see behind us, you've got this amazing Fender Bassman setup here, and all the basses you could want. To go and try them out and see if they like them, to take them out on the road, basically, and see if they want to go home with them, basically. So it's that's why it's called the Artist Showroom. So it's for artists to come and have fun, basically. And I guess that's what we are.
I guess.
Technically.
Fender artists confirmed. Yeah.
Officially endorsed.
As of now.
This podcast is not sponsored by Fender.
This podcast is not sponsored by Fender. No, it's not like a customer facing thing. Not that it being a customer facing would be a bad thing. It's just it's 3 small rooms in a several story building. I view it as like a bit of a regional office, like you said.
Yeah.
it's if you were endorsed by Fender and you needed stuff for a tour, like, you know, you need 2 P basses and Fender are going to lend them out to you. I imagine this is where you would go, and they would sort of go, okay, well, this is the 2024 range. Here's the ones we can lend you, and talk about it like that. Like the room we're in right now is very much like, there's lots of lovely Fender amps in here. Like I can see there's a DeVille over there. There's a bass breaker. Some great amps behind us. Just over my shoulder here is some of the EVH stuff. EVH, of course, owned by Fender as well. And then in some of the other rooms, just to our right, is the Gretsch room. We'll have a quick look at that later. There's some more Fender stuff. There's Jackson and Charvel downstairs as well. So it's kind of like it isn't the Gibson garage.
Oh, it's still very fancy,
Yes.
yeah. And I think you brought up a good point there to bring us on to our next section, because it's not just Fender that's here. We've got, you know, everything under the Fender umbrella. So that's, as well as Fender, we've got Gretsch, Charvel, what's the EVH, and all those bits, Jackson, you know, you might not be aware, but they're all under the Fender Corp kind of umbrella. So very lucky. It's not just Fender stuff we're going to check out today. And we are going to be checking out some of those very bases and brands that we mentioned. So shall we go and check out a bass now and then come back here and do some more questions?
I think that's exactly what we should do. Let's go do that now.
Amazing. Let's check it out. All right, kicking things off with something brand new for this year. This is the classic vibe Antigua Special Run Squire Bass 6. Look at this thing. It's so cool. Block inlays. The same as the other Bass 6s in the range, but just in this really rare and controversial finish, as previously discussed.
You know what? Controversial. Never played one of these before, as we know. And you know what? It feels really nice. Like, the string spacing is tricky. I'm struggling with that at the moment because this has been in my hands for 20 seconds, if that. Like, it feels great. Just messing around with some of the pickup configurations. My understanding is I have these 2 pickups on at the moment. Looks about right, yeah? This one is off, and then the strangle switch is off as well, because I was always told if you want to play bass on it, you need to have that off.
The strangle switch essentially reduces some of the bass in there so that you can play it more like a guitar, or like a baritone guitar if you want to. So it's quite a versatile instrument. And should we hear some now?
Yeah, I'm just going to play it like a bass.
Yep, cool. Through the Origin Effects bass rig, the Fender black panel one. So authentic Fender stuff, you know, going in through that directly into Logic, where you guys can hear it at home. So let's have a listen. It's cool.
It's cool.
Can we hear it? It kind of sounded, because what's this? There's these 2 front pickups. Yes. It sounded quite P-bassy from in the room. You know, we're hearing it through this insane basement setup here. Can we just hear a little bit of all pickups?
Yeah.
It's hot.
It's hot. It's very hot. I like it.
Sweet. Nice. Yeah, these are about crafted in Indonesia. These are about £460, I think, at the minute, depending on your supplier. They're going to be hard to get hold of, so on the second-hand market, they're going to be hot. But yeah, very, very cool. Should we head back to the questions?
Let's get back to the questions.
Well, we're back here in the room. Like I said, we have been taking your questions, your Fender-related questions for today as well. If you want to submit your own, you should go and follow us on Instagram.com/ in the Pocket Pod. Just like this person who said, what Squire artist models do you want to see? This is a really interesting one because
It is.
I made a video recently about Squire, like what Squire basses they should make. And one of those points was artist models because they don't do it anymore. We've seen Fender ones. And I think we'll check out a Fender artist model in a bit. But they're all Mexican-made ones upwards of like 1,200 quid. So, like, let's see some Squires that are inspiring the next generation.
Because that used to be a thing as well. Like, I remember you would see, both in guitar and bass world, you would get the fancy pants, full-fat American. Like, the one that always jumps into my head is, like, Jim Root from Slipknot. He got a fancy pants... I think it was American Telecaster, or it might have been Mexican, I don't know. But anyway, he got a proper Fender one, and then there was a Squire one as well. And the Squire one, like for example, didn't have EMG pickups; it had active, like EMG HZ pickups, which are like the cheap one.
Yeah.
But the same thing applies to bass. It's like you used to see, like an American-made one, which could be like £2,000, but then you would see a Squire one like under £800. Because, like, not everyone can afford a very fancy pants instrument. And we don't see that anywhere near as much, if not ever, really. Like the Troy Sanders Jag. Yeah, the Troy Sanders Jag that we talked about a couple of episodes ago. About that, I mean, about 9 months ago. That was just one thing. It was just one model. And we thought it was American.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was Mexican.
Yeah, and you're like...
And it was well expensive.
Yeah, so let's bring back... Like, they would sell.
Yeah.
And I love the idea, like Pete Wentz has done... He did his P-Bass back in the day, and then he's now with Sterling with doing the doing his Stingray.
Yes.
And now we've got the Joe Dart Stingray. You know, that version
we
of it.
certainly
So
do.
let's see some more Squire
because they're
artist
still
models.
clearly pumping interest into Squire. Like we just had the whole new Antigua range, all these kind of things. There's clearly an interest and a demand from Squire. Like, you know, Squire are still great instruments, even more so for the price.
And we always say they can afford to make more, not mistakes, they can take more risks, you know, in what they do because they're pumping out at such a higher volume because they're more affordable. They're more likely to sell more of those. So for a huge artist, like there's some biggies that aren't being utilized properly, or ones that have got Fender models that should have Squire ones.
Who would be, like, we talked about it before, but just before we started rolling, like for me, Mikey Way from My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
I would love to see his Mustang back.
Yeah.
That short scale. In the same way, his full fat jazz bass, that could be split up. There could be a Squire one. You know, because literally it could just be a classic vibe jazz bass with that black pick guard and the sparkle finish. That's it. That's all you need to do. You don't need to. It doesn't have to have a super fancy neck, super fancy electronics or pickups. It could just be, if you are 16 and your favorite band is My Chem and you just want the shiny bass, if you have ADHD like me and you like shiny things, or you're a magpie, you could just get that. Actually, a magpie. You could just get that for thank you. You could just get that for a lesser price and get that aesthetic. Like, who else do you think could do that? Like, what other artists?
I've got a couple in mind.
Do tell.
Because I think there are some really key ones that would do really well and are perfect for this demographic. But I'm actually going to start off with one that is super popular. I think it's a kind of an obvious one. That would be great.
The enthusiasm, the anticipation is killing me.
It's the Jonny Dibble signature Squire coming soon. No.
Better not be.
It is Geddy Lee.
Yes!
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Like, so simple. Give us because they've always been Mexican. They've done Japanese ones as well.
Yeah.
Let's complete the range. Give us an Indonesian-made one or a Chinese-made one.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Like, it's so simple. Black body, block inlays. It's basically
Maple
a classic
neck.
vibe.
Yeah.
But with a high mass bridge and some tweaked pickups. Like,
Yep.
And just a, signed off by him, better version.
yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
What about Nate Mendel?
Yes.
Because he just has one. Come on, he's in the Foo Fighters. Nate, you're allowed more than one signature instrument. You're in the Foo Fighters. He could have still keep the P bass. If anything, his P bass is already super affordable. It's under $1,000, I think, isn't it?
I don't
Like
know.
800-900
Is it
quid?
still?
Has it gone up now?
Is it still in production new at the moment?
I don't know. Maybe I should have checked that.
I suppose
But
the only thing different about his, so we've got
Yeah.
high mass bridge, which is fine.
Yeah.
They can manage that.
Quarter pounder.
Quarter pounders.
that's going to affect the price a little bit.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, why not give him?
Some hot pickups.
Why not
in
give
the-
him a nicer one, which sits again as like, and also isn't his one Mexican?
Yeah.
Give him an American one, because again, he's in the Foo Fighters. Come on, I feel like he's kind of allowed that. Mike Dirnt will be a good share, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. Give him like a fancier American one.
Yeah.
Put some extra things in to justify the price, like maybe a more premium pickup. Not that the quarter pounder isn't a good pickup, but like give him more, and then give him a Squire one that maybe we don't get the quarter pounder. Maybe we just get like maybe I was gonna say maybe we just get a slightly more overwound normal Fender.
I was going to say a hotter output pickup.
But the quarter pounder scooped as well as hot, so maybe you can get a retail quarter pounder.
I'm sure.
In a squat, charge like 500-600 quid. Yeah, sure. 200 of that is the pickup. But it's a P bass. It's one pickup. Just
if
do
you're
that.
mass producing that, they could do
Yeah.
that for 400 or 500.
Yeah,
I reckon.
And then the rest of it is just it's got a high mass bridge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, high mass bridge, high mass style bridge.
Yeah.
P bass,
Yeah.
black and red,
Easy.
done.
Nothing complicated.
Bosh.
Sticking in the in that kind of realm,
Yeah.
in the rock, maybe pop punk realm.
Yes.
Kind of guess where I'm going here.
Oh, I know.
Mark Hoppus.
Yes.
Like people are gagging.
Give
for,
me the hop.
Yeah, like the reverse P pickup version. You
yep.
could do it as a jazz-based body, although it says P precision based on the neck.
Yep.
You could do it as a Jaguar. I don't
you
think
could.
they official. I think they've reissued the precision bass, which is a jazz-based body. But I don't think they've done a run of the Jaguar,
Right.
and we
Yeah.
don't have enough Jaguars.
No, we don't.
So
What have we got? The Mike Kerr one, Troy Sanders. It is Troy Sanders, isn't
Yeah.
it? Am I saying it is Troy Sanders?
yeah.
I keep thinking,
Yeah.
oh no, that's Bran Thingy the drummer.
you're thinking of Troy from High School Musical.
Anyway,
Easy to get wrong.
Yeah, it is the best of both worlds. But yeah, like also Fender have just brought out a new Tom DeLonge signature.
Yeah.
Why not do a Mark one as well?
Be great. And because
Yeah.
Mike Dirnt's already done and successfully done
And Mike Dirnt, yeah.
a Squire version,
Yes.
Mark Hoppus it'd be so good
Yeah.
for it. So many people
Yeah.
make their own,
Yeah.
it would sell.
I think it
so
makes
well.
I think it makes total sense. I was gonna jump ship to like a sister brand of Fender then, but we won. I was gonna say, just as a tangent, I don't just want one model of Mr. Number 3 from Sleep Token.
Oh, right, yeah.
Is that even a production model? Is it just a one-off custom
I
thing?
think it's a one-off.
Well-
You can't buy it.
First, kind of should make that a thing to buy.
So this is a point I was thinking.
Yes.
Because the biggest thing about Squire artist models is it should be ones that are really popular with young people or beginners.
Yes.
And that would be really popular.
Yes, it would
I
be.
think.
Yeah, because again, it's like Squire, Epiphone in the guitar world, LTD in the ESP.
Well-
It's like when you're a teenager, not every teenager can buy I call them full fat American models. Not
Yeah.
everyone can do that. I couldn't do that when I was a teenager. All my first guitars were Epiphones.
Yeah.
My first basses were Squires. Yeah, they were. They were all Squires, that kind of thing.
For Sleep Token, do an import level Charvel.
Yeah. Mr. Number 3.
Mr.
Mr. Number 3.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Number being his first name.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Unless he's, it's like the Stig. Yeah. Unless he's been doxed again.
Oh, gosh. No. But yeah, like, it should be artists like that, as well as the big boys.
Yeah.
Who have had them before, or have not had, or have had incarnations.
And then also, it's like, go one further. What about, like, artists that you want to take a punt on, but you don't necessarily want to give them, like, a full fat, full Fender, £1,500 and up, American-made model. Like, is there anyone you can think of that would be like could be deserving of a Fender signature model, but Squire would be a good place to start for them. I know we didn't prep this question. I'm just thinking out loud.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because I was trying to think of someone, and 3 was the from Sleep
Yeah,
Toad,
that
wasn't
would be, yeah.
Oh, now this isn't necessarily one that's up and coming.
Yeah.
But another one,
It's me.
You're definitely not up, but
No, I am coming.
my God,
Wow.
we've come to such a nice place.
Can't believe we just said that. We've come all the way to the capital city and we're still making Willy jokes. Nice.
We're the only ones in the room. It's fine.
No, it's just us. And the 10 camera people we have.
Yeah,
either
of
side
course.
us.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Jim and Bob.
Yeah.
Thank you. What was I going to say? Yes, huge band, and one that's quite bass orientated that I think would sell really well.
Do tell.
21 Pilots.
Ah,
The singer is the bass
okay.
player as well.
Oh.
Is often playing live. I've seen him playing short scale Mustangs.
Yep.
Playing P bass. He's got like an all black matted out P bass at the minute with a maple neck, matching headstock.
Yeah.
That would be an insane Squire
That would be
model.
very cool. And again, that's a great sort of, if a company like Fender, who again use Squire to take more risks because they can, because the price is lower at the end of
Yeah, it's tough to think of like who is going to be the next big person to inspire the next generation, because that's what I think it kind of needs to be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, it's me and you.
Yeah, well, speaking of inspiring the next generation, should we go check out Dumb Bass?
Yes, we should.
Let's do that.
All right, we are here with the borderline infamous Mike Kerr signature Jaguar. Johnny, talk me through it.
So, this one is made in Mexico. It's got a satin neck. That's the first thing I noticed about it. You know, as well as being a short scale and a little Jaguar, kind of shrunken down body a little bit. I mean, it looks amazing. The gold hardware is stunning. People have kind of not loved it online though, so I'm hoping to put that to rest and say yes, it is good, or not, but we'll see. To me, when they announced this, it's a very specific thing. Like, this is made for Mike Kerr. Is this really going to work in most bass applications? And all the demos online, it sounded very thin or just a bit twangy, or good for him, not good for most people. So let's try it out. Let's see what it sounds like.
Let's give it a spin. Thoughts?
Plays really well. Like, it's a short scale. I feel like it's made to play with an orange pick.
Oh yes, an orange pick for an orange bass.
It sounds good. It's not blowing me away sound wise. I mean, it's not. We haven't got drive pedal in front of it. We're not playing it how maybe it's intended. What I really want to do, I've got a recent love for these bridge humbuckers, so I want to switch over to that and maybe turn the tone down.
Ooh. Let's do that.
It's pretty big, like almost to a fault. That pickup where it's like,
I could feel a visible, massive lift in volume. Maybe to the point where it's like too loud too quickly.
I mean, for this kind of setup, that's pretty standard to like the volume difference. That happens with this kind of pickup by itself. In series is huge. But yeah, it's my favourite is that bridge humbucker. I think that sounds good. I don't feel like we've heard many demos doing that kind of style with it. It's been like all out, go for it, which...
Absolutely. And also, like, I feel like this bass got, like, a lot of hate when it came out. I mean, it sounds pretty good, to be honest. I mean, it looks the part. I was playing it before and feels great. I understand a lot of people might think it's a bit of a one-trick pony kind of thing, but not really from what we've heard today. It's quite a decent all-round short scale, to be honest.
Yeah, plays like a high-quality short scale to me. It feels great, sounds good in applied contexts.
Yes. Should we move on?
Let's do it.
Let's move on.
Now we've got this stunning made in Mexico Ventera 2 precision bass. These are all like kind of late 50s inspired. So you've got this beautiful, I can't remember the blonde finish with the gold anodized pick guards. Classic late 50s look with the reverse tuners as well. Chunky neck on this thing. How does it feel?
It feels good. It's a chunky neck, not really something I'm used to that often, really. Don't really think I own many chunky neck basses, but it's got a bit of heft to it. It's really nice. It's heavy as well, which is really good. I don't know, it just sort of like inspires you to play with more of a vintage feel. We talked about this before. It's like it's a no-nonsense P bass, but yeah, there's not much to say really. Just it does the job. It's got a bit of a forward lunge, if you know what I mean. I can feel that off it, but it's just a chunk, good bit of weight.
Well, if there's not much to say, then you better shut up and play.
Works like it just kind of. I'm trying to think what else, like kind of more of a driving thing as well. Like
I will say, old strings. These strings are very like. There's not a lot of like, you know. There's not a lot of that going on.
No,
but in terms of like,
I mean, it's a 50s inspired vintage P bass. Flat or old round. Is that the tone all way up?
that is.
Can we have a quick demo tone down?
Yeah, let's turn it down. Smooth operator. Obviously, when you play it properly, it sounds really good. Like you just.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Lovely jubbly. For our next section, we've got a question that says, are you ready, Chris?
I'm ready.
It just says, bring back discontinued model. Do it now, whilst we're here.
Bring back discontinued model, or never see family again.
What if you could bring back a discontinued model, whether that be a shape, whether that be a certain range, what would you bring back?
Okay, I have two.
You have two. I've got a few.
Okay.
So,
I'll do one, you do one, I'll do one. I never got to play one, but you did with somewhat spectacular results.
oh no.
I would like to see the Squier Contemporary range back, but not broken? Question mark.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah,
that'd
be nice.
That'd be great because great sounding, great feeling, not working. You know, like it'd be great if it could actually sustain for longer than 10 minutes. You know,
Yeah.
like not sustain as in hold the note. That
Just
would be
work.
insane.
Just work.
If it could sustain longer than 10 minutes,
Oh God!
like
Yeah,
that.
don't you just hate it when you're like all my basses minimum 32 minutes?
Yeah, right.
Sustained. Yeah.
And the song doesn't end until that note's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop right
It's
there.
not a chord until the bass player plays, and the song doesn't end until the bass stops sustaining.
Yeah, like they were a bit of a classic failure ones. And they were great. The design was great.
It looked
The
cool.
Really cool idea. And the guitar ones are great as well. Like really cool opportunities there to give something more modern. And I was like, brilliant. From Squire, that's what we want. And then it kind of didn't really deliver the results. So a good version of that would be amazing.
That would be cool. Your move.
My move. Okay, one from me. This is discontinued. I want Starcaster.
Ooh.
I want dip your toes back
Stunning.
into semi-hollow basses. They are the way. They're so cool.
Semi is the way.
Well, some would argue otherwise.
Well, it's
but
the best I can manage.
yeah, if you
so.
can thumb one in. Playing with your thumb, I mean.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking of something else.
No.
You held that just so like. if you
Well, I
can thumb
don't
one in.
know what you mean, really. If
No,
if you
okay,
can thumb
yeah.
a semi,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean, that's
Yep.
the way.
Yeah.
So-
This is the way.
Yeah, like the Starcaster was a semi-hollow in natural, in black. I think it came in. I think there was another finish, like a sunburst one. Give us a Squire version of that, even like, or just bring it back in the Fender range. It was so cool. They did it in a Chinese-made modern player.
Yep.
And it was awesome. And now they've got the guitars. Just got the Tom DeLonge signature. We've got the Squires. Nothing for bass. So cool. And Fender. Don't let the other brands, take that market over, because you were great at it and they were awesome. So bring them back. Your move.
More Aerodyne.
Yes.
More Aerodyne. PJ pickup. Slightly thinner body. Mine's got a really fat neck on it, but my understanding is a lot of the other ones don't have really fat necks. Basically, it's just a slightly different variation on a jazz bass. Like I said, PJ configuration, matching headstocks.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, why not? I think it's a great style bass. It's really cool. There aren't a million PJ Fender production models going on. Obviously, there are other companies. Like, there's a absolutely delightful Charvel just behind us, and that's a PJ. That's very nice, but that's a P-bass body.
Yeah.
That's the San Dimas.
Yeah.
Yeah, San Dimas. But Aerodyne, more Aerodyne. Love the Aerodyne. It's a really cool shape. I don't see why not. Let's have that back.
Yeah. They brought out the Japanese one a few years ago, but they're way more expensive. Let's bring back the Mexican ones.
Give me a Squire Aerodyne.
Stop it.
Yes.
Stop it. For me, the next one I think was quite a short-lived bass, but I think would be really cool is the Dimension.
Oh, yes.
They did it in some really nice finishes, like a honey burst. It's kind of been replaced by the Meteor, I suppose, but it kind of had these humbucker jazz, like dual jazz bass pickups, and they were really cool.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't think it sold. I guess
That's
kind of
what
got rid of
I
them.
tracked. I tracked the DARLAH EP of one of those, didn't I?
No, that was
No,
a
what did
modern.
I-
That was a modern player.
Modern player,
jazz.
but
But,
that
it
had-
had the same similar
That
thing.
had the stacked,
Yeah.
the sort of two jazz bass pickups next to each
Yeah.
other. Yeah, great sounding bass.
And you know what? That's a really interesting thing, because the modern player range was the Chinese-made Fenders, and now China is producing some banging instruments. Like, I would say, currently better than Indonesia. So that would be great. Bring back some modern players. That one in particular had I think the 5-string one.
Yes.
had a rotary.
It did.
Selector.
Yes.
Which meant that it was selecting the different pickup positions.
You could have all the way out or the two inner ones.
Yeah.
I think I used all the way out, which is like an even more jazzy jazz bass.
Yeah.
Too jazzy? No.
You can't be too jazzy.
I have the mic, thank you. You have no authority here. Well. We've moved on
to the really good stuff. Jonny, tell the lovely people what we have here.
This is a custom shop jazz bass. This thing is stunning. You can see the checking like we kind of looked at earlier on this kind of nitro finish. It just plays great. It plays really nice and it's super defined. These pickups look super old and it's got that old school sound, but it's still popping, you know? Do a bit of slap, see how it sounds?
Do you want to do a bit of slap? Slap away. Oh! It's big. It's big.
It's so well defined, and I don't know if it's because we've just listened to a P bass and some very like the humbuckers and the other ones. Like it just sounds so defined compared to the other ones, and that's just a classic jazz bass thing, I suppose. But yeah, it feels amazing. You'd think it might feel a bit awkward to play or a bit big to play. Like it's still got a nice skinny jazz neck. I think the good thing about some vintage P basses might feel a bit awkward to play because they're so big and chunky and, well, they feel old. Whereas a jazz bass, they almost sometimes don't feel that because you can get ones with skinnier necks that are still vintage or vintage inspired like this one. I've got no cons of this apart from maybe the price. These are very expensive, but it is, you're getting a one-off custom instrument with these. So, it's very, very cool. Not much to say about from, I guess, some more tones.
Let's get some more tones. Very cool.
Woo! This is the Charvel San Dimas. Charvel is part of Fender family. Says on the back of the headstock, in fact, of part of the Fender Musical Instruments Corporation. These are really cool and often overlooked, Charvel. I've not had much experience with them, only when here in this room. And this one is one of the newer finishes, which I think is the best looking one with the cream pickups, gold hardware. Looks so, so cool. How does it feel?
I'm going to go out on a limb here. This is the best feeling bass I've touched all day. This neck feels genuinely amazing. It just feels so nice. Like the frets all feel lovely and level. The back of the neck is wonderful. The weight is fantastic. This is a super well-balanced instrument.
We'll have a listen. We'll have a record. It sounds better in the room. I'll say this now. It sounds better in the room because we're hearing it through a full Fender Bassman rig and you're hearing it through the Origin pedal, which I think this bass, it's in, what is it in? Drop C sharp?
It's in drop C. Oh. We found it in drop C and I chose to leave it there.
Okay, so maybe not the best unit to demo this with on the like vintagey kind of Fender sound. I would say this needs something a bit more aggressive, and with drive, I imagine it will saturate super well. I might turn it off partway through and we'll hear it as just the DI. I don't know. I would take the sound of this with a pinch of salt. Let's have a listen. I'd be interested to hear that back on the DI, see how that sounds. The DI is a lot hotter because we're kind of dialing it back a little bit, or it's kind of cutting some of the harshness, perhaps in the preamp there. So interesting to hear what that one sounds like. But yeah, it looks good, feels great, sounds. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows is the operative word here. And like I said, the feel and everything on this is 10 out of 10. I really genuinely can't fault this. Yeah, we haven't messed around with the free band EQ, but in terms of the actual instrument itself, this is a rock solid instrument. I'm just not in love with the sound side of things, which is a bit of a shame, really.
Well, on that note, let's move on. Right then. So the final question of today, which is kind of sad. I don't want to go home.
No?
The last
I
question.
really don't want to go home. It took ages to get here.
And it's wonderful.
It is. It's very nice.
The last question is, what is the best Fender shape?
Oh!
Sticking to basses.
Okay.
Okay. There's no strats.
Sorry.
There's
Okay.
big tellies for you.
All right. I know. Sorry.
Here. So this can extend to any shape that Fender has made.
Okay.
Even the katana, if you want to bring
It's
that in
really
here.
easy, but go on.
Well,
Keep going.
Let me
Go
set
on.
it up before
Yeah,
you shoot
go
me
on,
down.
go on.
Okay. We've got the P bass.
Yeah,
Got the jazz bass.
we do.
Got the Jaguar.
We do.
Got the Mustang.
Yeah.
We've got the
Meteora.
Meteora.
shape,
We've
yeah.
got the Dimension, as we
have.
said. We've got the Katana. We've got the Rascal. We've got
bass ukulele.
Yes.
The Rascal's quite nice, to be fair, actually. Yeah, forgot about that.
So we've got quite a few.
More Rascals. More Rascals. There's not enough of those.
Yeah.
They are nice.
Killer.
More of those.
Killer. The best shape. You've made up your mind
Easily.
because it's the jazz bass.
You close. It's literally the
letter.
other one.
So obviously you think it's the PP bass.
I do think it's the PP bass. Yes.
Why? I'm
'Cause
not
it
agreeing or
just-
disagreeing. Why?
I think it... Right, okay. So, I think it looks the best no matter how high you set your strap. You play it low, looks great. Play it high, looks great. It's comfier than a jazz bass, I think. Having sat down for long periods of time playing...
Is that because the
bass.
jazz bass is like heavier in the bottom? Like
Yeah,
it's got more,
and
it's
got that,
more
got that
caboose.
sort of rear. Yeah, it's got a bit more junk in the trunk, and it's like that rear section sometimes, depending on the model of jazz bass.
Jazz bass
can
dump
dig
truck ass.
Dig into and a great personality to boot. Can sort of dig into your forearm a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the P bass is super comfy. It just, I think it's the most aesthetically pleasing Fender shape.
There's certainly more P basses I've seen and gone ooh than jazz basses.
Yes.
I think visually, yeah, I have to give it to a P, and I'll go a step further. That a P, like a P over a PJ,
Yes,
like they look better and they sound better.
sometimes question
I'll say it.
what a PJ looks like. I'm always a bit like, kind of would have looked cooler.
Yeah.
Just the one pickup.
Yeah,
Yes.
just the bridge.
Yes. Just the bridge tone.
But like, it's weird and it sounds snobby to say it, but when you've just got the P bass pickup, and it's probably just your head doing this. But to me, it sounds better than a PJ soloed on the P pickup.
I think it does too, the same way a single humbucker, single pickup
Yeah.
Music Man sounds better than a HH
Yeah,
pickup
yeah. And
soloed.
And I know there are people watching this, Will, who are going to disagree with me on that because I agree.
You're wrong. You're wrong, Will. Sorry.
Loves an HH.
he does.
It's got a stunning Stingray HH, Miss Louise, it's called, and it's the matte black one. Oh,
He does.
Anyway,
But I like every single humbucker Stingray more than any double humbucker.
I agree.
And I'm the same with PJ. Like my Godan, love my Godan. If someone said to me, I can wave a magic wand right now and it will just become a single humbucker.
Oh,
Look, I'm not routing the body, I'm not gluing it, it's like it was never there.
Yeah.
I would go, okay,
I suppose it's like that
because I never use it.
that bridge humbucker thing for guitars, you know?
Yeah.
So many players are just like, that's all I use. And
And
that's
it's
all I'll have.
almost like the exact opposite for, I mean, yeah, it's like it's the exact opposite for basses. The P bass just works. That's like That's my stance on it. And I'm really into the pee right now. I'm really peeing it up. I'm peeing all over the place.
All over this room.
It stinks in here, but it means it's mine. According to the animal kingdom, this room belongs to me now. Because
do I belong to you?
Yes.
Ah.
Don't remember peeing on you. Move on.
Yeah. So I'm going to counter this.
Okay.
Because I agree wholeheartedly that the P bass is the most useful.
Yes.
I will never.
Which is hilarious because you only get one setting.
But it just works across everything.
Yes.
And we can talk that to death, and we've
can.
talked it before. I would argue that the Jaguar bass looks better.
Ooh.
So this isn't just bias.
Thank
because
you so much for listening.
we're about to go and have a physical fight.
We are.
Because I just love.
How can I throw this?
I love offset bodies, like offset designs.
Yeah.
I think they look so good. The Rascal, looks amazing, and the Jaguar is the OG of that. I think it's
True.
amazing. I even like it with the silver panels on it. With
Yes.
all those bits.
Yeah, I agree.
I am very biased right now because I've got one arriving tomorrow.
Yes. But the P bass is offset. It is.
It
Does
is.
Does that look like an SG to you?
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay.
No,
wanna get
by
these-
offset,
get
I
these
kind
looked at.
of mean like
More
that
offset.
shoegazy thing.
Yeah,
Or like it's a totally different shape on the other side of the body. Whereas it's got two horns. Like the Jag doesn't have that. It's got a horn and then like a more straight bit. And that would be a controversial opinion because I know people that hate the Jaguar. I just think it's got so much sex appeal.
It's a cool bass.
I think
It
it's
doesn't-
awesome.
I'm not, some people hate it. I don't hate it. I don't have too much of an opinion on it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just like, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, oh, you know what? One day I really, really need a Jaguar. I'm like, if I never own a Jag, well, I'd like a Jag.
When you said
Less-
that,
yeah.
or a Jag.
Or a Jag. More of an Aston Martin guy. But anyway, that is very much beside the point. I don't yearn for a Jag bass.
Oh my God, that would be a great podcast topic. What car brand would make the best bass?
We'll just
and then
do-
we'll mock them up.
Yeah. Or we'll compare, because Fender is Ford.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic American.
Yeah, just that kind of thing.
Yep.
And then it's like, well, now we're on to it now. See, one of the
They
Japanese
do the
bands,
Mustang as well. They do the Mustang.
Yeah, that's
Oh!
and it's like one of the Japanese one of the high-end Japanese company. That's Lexus.
Yeah. And then the lower one is Toyota.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true. What about
Sandberg is Volkswagen. Volkswagen.
It is because Sandberg
German.
is more I'd say more of a higher end thing.
Mercedes.
Yeah, like Mercedes, BMW.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Love this.
We're doing this. We're doing this. We are absolutely doing this. But I just need to find there's no Italian. Isn't there Italian? There is that Italian custom shop company that I forgot the name of.
Where's Sire from? USA.
A Sire USA brand.
Think so.
Oh, okay. But made in Korea.
Indonesia.
Indonesia, sorry. No, Sire not a Korean brand.
Not
I
Korean
thought,
brand.
I thought they were Korean, but
It's
made in.
Sire.usa, their website.
Oh, okay.
I mean, who knows? Anyway,
Yeah, well,
we
right,
dare
we are-
talk about other brands in here.
Yeah, we are. I know. Yeah. Oh, I can see the security. It's okay. We'll stop. We'll stop. We are doing that, by the way. That's if you'd
that's
like to
great.
see that, it doesn't matter because we're going to do it. But yes,
Before we end,
Yes.
we've talked about our favourite Fender shapes.
yes,
I will concede and say the P is the best.
Okay.
Because that's my second choice.
okay,
The other thing I'd say before we go,
yeah.
what's your least favourite? Don't say a Jag.
Don't really care much for I've even forgot the name of it. The bass version of the Starcaster is Starcaster shape, isn't it?
Yeah. The semi-hollow.
Yeah, don't really care for it. Don't care. There's none I dislike. It's not like I hate that one. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
I just don't love it as much as I like all the other ones. Because that not Vintera, sorry, that Meteora you brought to Bass Bros,
Yeah.
that was really cool.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh my god, I need one, but I liked it. Yeah.
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 And there is, honestly, there isn't, because they kind of set the standard.
Yeah.
There isn't one that I hate. I'm like, ooh, disgusting.
Ford.
I would say probably the ones that don't do it for me are the cowpokes. Do you remember those? The cowpoke specials. They're basically like they're a PJ bass made in the 80s. I don't think they're active, but they're all like solid colours, like a red or like a jady green. And they're kind of like, imagine a super strat P bass.
Okay.
They're like P basses, but a bit thinner. Whilst we stall, I'll try and get a picture.
Did we see...
You've played one. You played one of Bass Bros.
Oh.
Yeah, you literally picked one up and played one.
I don't think I disliked that. I don't remember disliking it.
That doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
And that's probably the only Fender shape. And it's even like a variation of a P bass, you know, so maybe that doesn't count. But that's the
Okay,
one that comes
yeah.
to mind for me that I'm like, not so good.
Very
Because next to that would probably be the Dimension, but I really like that. So
There's no bad Fender shape. There's other brands that have shapes where we're like, oh, not keen.
Yeah.
But
Whoosh.
like, yeah, shush. But no, Fender, absolutely
Solid.
nothing. Yeah.
solid. Well, speaking of Fender being solid, we want to say a huge thank you to Fender for allowing us to come down to London here to the artist showroom to record this episode.
It's very nice.
It's been really, really fun. We've had a great time checking out some basses and talking on this lovely couch here in this beautiful
It's
room.
always nice to do an in-person episode.
I know.
You're like a real person. I forget that sometimes.
Yeah, my God. If you want to support the podcast in any way, you should do two things. Well, three things, should I say. You should, number one, go and follow us on Instagram at In The Pocket Pod. That is where most of the updates are made. That is where we are at. That is where we are asking for you to make suggestions for questions, etc. Number two, you should subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can see our lovely faces doing this. But if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to watch it, if you want to listen to us in your car, Dave, then...
Mike
again?
It was Mike, wasn't it?
Yes, it was
It was
Michael.
Mike, yeah.
Then you can rate us 5 stars on your listening platform of choice. It helps something to do with algorithms to help us reach more people. That means we can do more lovely things like this and have wonderful days out and see each other.
No,
so
isn't
that
that
would
nice?
be fantastic.
Because obviously we can't see each other unless it's for a... Well, we can't because we just live so far away from each
Yeah,
other.
and I refuse.
Yeah, true. I'm not driving 3.5 hours for a natter.
No.
No.
It's built for that.
Yes.
Chris, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me quite literally everywhere under That Guy on Bass. I am still considering a name change. We talk about this every week. Every 2 weeks, I am considering it.
That asshole.
That Asshole on Bass. Thank you so much, Jordan Ray Landers, for that suggestion. Crimson Chin over here is a big fan. No, That Guy on Bass is where you can find me. I'm in a band called DARLAH, DARLAH. We have, at the time of this coming out, no shows. No, we're playing Burn It Down, which is a lovely festival.
London?
In London.
London?
Well, no, it's would have been out by then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This comes out 5 days after that gig.
Wow. Oh,
And it was a really good gig.
nice.
Nice. That was good, wasn't it? Yes, please check us out. We have some songs. You might like them. If you don't like them, just don't tell me. I can't deal with the criticism.
Fantastic.
Johnny, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Jonny Dibble and on YouTube under the same name. You can go and subscribe for weekly and daily bass-related content. Before we sign off, a huge thanks to Fender, George and the team for having us down in London today. Make sure you go to their website to check out all the basses we've checked out today and, of course, many more. You don't need us to tell you who Fender are, but we want to extend our thanks.
Can you imagine if someone's like
This is their first introduction.
stumbled on this podcast, like they never heard of us either, and they just go, "Oh, what's Fender?"
No, they're a long-term
Yeah.
bass fan.
Yes.
Really nerdy.
Really,
But they've
gone way too far. It's like you're playing an RPG and you've completely ignored the main quest.
Yeah.
And you've just done all the side quests.
I thought you meant a rocket-propelled
Yeah.
grenade. And
No.
you're not using the main weapon. Just the attachment on COD.
exactly. One man army. And you've just stumbled on I've been looking at super niche custom shop builders, and then you just go, oh, who's Fender? Well, maybe you were looking up some Sam Fender tunes and you realised, hang on a minute.
This is his company.
Maybe you spelt Bender from Futurama wrong, and here you
Accidentally
are.
ended up here.
You thought I
yeah.
was going somewhere else then, didn't you?
No, I
no,
you
you
had to turn the
didn't.
camera off. Thank you so much, Fender, for letting us come and shoot this. It's been an absolute blast, and we hope to do it again soon.
Yes,
It'll
please.
be really, really fun. Once again, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you.
Bye.